I'm going to say something that this is going to be very offensive, but I don't care. Black people don't actually like each other. A lot of black people, this don't apply to everybody, but a lot of black folk don't actually like other black folk. Let me explain to you what I mean. In the 1960s, in the 1940s, 1920s, 1930s, going all the way back to slavery, we had to be closely knit. We had to be closely together. We had to rely on each other. We had to rely on one another for survival to the best of our ability. But if you ever notice, the more freedom that black people gained economically, the more freedom they gained socially, the farther apart our communities began to grow. Now, whose fault is that? Is that women's fault or is that the men's fault? Well, I can't blame the women because they didn't have any political power until the late 1960s. And so what I'm saying is that as men, we set the standard of the community. We didn't like each other. We didn't like our women. We were competing. There have been a plethora of articles to demonstrate the tangle of black pathology that has affected the black community from the end of slavery through the present day. But what I'm here to tell you is that the only way that anything will change is if we begin to love each other and come back together. But that's not what we want. See, division is exactly what the quote unquote oppressor wants, right? It's much easier to keep families separated. It's a money game. If I keep the black community separated, if I keep dad over this way, mom over this way, dad's buying a house down here, mom's buying a house down here, instead of the consolidation of resources, I win. If I self-manufacture hatred, I'm going to win. And we are our own enemies at this point. It ain't the white man doing anything to us anymore. It's us. It is us. There is no reason that the more freedom we gained, the less community inclined we became. That's foolishness, and that's utterly ridiculous. And if anybody wants to deny that, if anybody wants to tell me that I'm wrong, I challenge and dare any of you in the comments. The more freedom black people got in the 1960s through the present, the less familially and communally inclined we have become. If you want to save the black community, you have to fix and correct that, which means black men and black women, we both need to sit y'all ass down at the table, express what bothers you, and shut the hell up and listen to what the other side has to say. To quote Malcolm X, for any effective change to be able to occur, the white man must feel free to sit down at the table and speak his mind without fear for hurting the feelings of the Negro. And the Negro must feel free to sit at the table and speak his mind without hurting the feelings of the white man. Internally, we must now do the same thing, because a house divided against itself cannot stand, and the black house has been divided against itself since we got over here off the boat. And we have allowed ourselves to be hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. This is what the white man did, but this is what we're doing continuously to each other now. We bash each other when we make progress. We bash each other for getting out of the hood after we get some money. Why do you want to stay in the slums if you worked your ass off to get the up out of there? Think about that for 1 second. Actually think and have real, legitimate conversations with yourselves. Why, as black people, are we putting pressure on each other to stay in the slums and ghettos? Dr. King said it's all right to want wall-to-wall drapes and carpets rather than wall-to-wall rats and roaches. Malcolm X said that a nation can rise no higher than the level and the capacity to which it raises its women. And black women are the most attacked on this planet. By who? Niggas that look just like them. And I'm not saying black men got it easy, because we don't. Black men don't have it easy. We're incarcerated at more than twice the rate of whites. We are killed by our own brothers at higher rates than whites kill each other per capita, which means break it down solely based upon the population numbers in and of themselves. So don't feed me this bullshit that we are a community. Don't feed me this bullshit that we are kings and queens. No, we acting like peasants and peons around this motherfucker. And it's time to wake up and change that to save ourselves. You dig?